What's up, you guys? Stellan over here, and I'm going to talk about the reality of a relationship where you fall in love with or romanticize the potential your person had in your mind. At the end of it, when you lay on the battlefield bleeding out and you think you suffered a loss, but no, what you're grieving is the hope, not the reality. That's the part that twists the knife. Because when you really lay the relationship out on the table like scattered tarot cards, the pattern is painfully consistent. If you're feeling this way, most likely you carried communication, you carried emotional labor, you carried patience, you carried understanding, you carried the benefit of the doubt, you carried the second chance, and somehow you were still expecting to carry the confusion too. That's exhausting. And the reason you feel bad isn't because you made the wrong decision. It's because your heart kept trying to negotiate with the person's potential. You weren't in love with the bare minimum behavior. You were in love with what could have been if he had matched your effort consistently, or she. But consistency for small stretches of time is not the same as capacity. A lot of people can perform closeness during the honeymoon stretch. The real reveal comes when accountability enters the room. Emotional depth is required. Difficult conversations happen, outside life happens, expectations become real, and reciprocity is no longer optional. That's where the relationship keeps collapsing. You keep asking for incredibly normal things, returning messages, clarity, follow through, communication, reassurance, effort, and work. Those are not luxury requests wrapped in gold leaves. That's relationship oxygen. And notice something important. They never tell you flat out, I can't give you this right now. So let me release you respectfully. Instead, they slowly withdraw, withholding emotional access, ghosting you, creating confusion, keeps your nervous system searching for logic, for calm, for answers, for steadiness you can depend on. And here's the mental dialogue. If they say they love me, why do they act disconnected? If I'm valuable to them, why do I feel emotionally abandoned? If they wanted me so badly, why repeat the same pattern or act this way at all? The answer is uncomfortable but clarifying. Wanting you is not the same as being capable of sustaining you, aka the relationship. Some people adore extraordinary people the way tourists adore oceans. They love standing near them, they love the beauty, they love the feeling, but they do not know how to build a life in that environment. And yes, when they choose someone easier, that does tell you something. Not that you were too much, but that depth requires responsibility that they do not want. Someone who communicates clearly, asks questions, notices inconsistencies, and desires genuine partnership will always feel harder to someone who avoids emotional accountability and avoidant. You gave them a chance or another opportunity because you're loving, you're hopeful, and emotionally brave. That's not stupidity, that's humanity. But now you have enough data. Not assumptions, not fears, not overthinking, but data. The second chance or the first chance that was given, it wasn't wasted. It gave you closure that you probably would have chased mentally for years. So now you know it was not timing. It was not misunderstanding. It was not a lack of patience on your part. It was not because you failed to explain your needs clearly enough. Some people simply cannot maintain what they initiate. And babes, relationships are not supposed to feel like constantly knocking on a locked door from the inside. You should not have to beg for replies, investigate silence, decode affection, ration your needs, or shrink your standards into crumbs just to keep someone around that doesn't want to be there. You already know what your spirit is telling you. You're done. Not angry done, not revenge done, just soul tired done. The kind of tired where your heart finally whispers, I cannot keep auditioning for consistency. And I think the deepest wound here is that you loved them enough to understand their struggles, but they never loved you enough to protect you from becoming collateral damage from them. Check out my Goddess Prodigy music right here on YouTube. In fact, my last song is aptly titled Collateral Damage. Thanks for listening to Reads by Nova, and you're worth waiting on someone who not only says you're amazing, but treats you that way every chance they get, just because they want to.